Welcome to Focus on Strong Legs. This time of year, at the time of the taping of this video, at least where I am, it's turning into fall. It's a beautiful time of year where the leaves change and they start to fall off the trees. And then it rains and things get slippery. So this time of year in particular, I kind of bring my attention back to how can we stabilize ourselves? How can we prepare ourselves for challenges that we may face as we're walking? They may happen all year round, but there's something about this time of year that brings it to the fore. So one of the things I wanted to bring to you was the bandhas. So in yoga, there's something called locks, or in Sanskrit, bandhas, that help you to cultivate energy, to strengthen muscles, to kind of stand more fully into yourselves so that when you're meeting those uneven patches of terrain or those slippery leaved pavements, you have a better chance of recruiting those muscles without even thinking because we've been practicing. It also helps to kind of show your body when you engage in a part of your body, it lights up your brain to say, I'm here, right? So that communication is quicker. So today I'm going to show you how to engage your foot lock or pada bandha. So your pada bandha is at the base of your feet where your chakras are. There's a sub chakra. More on another video about that. At the center of your foot. When you lift your toes, you can lift the arches of the foot and anchor through the four corners of the foot as you're almost like drawing energy up through the earth, through the center of your feet, into your calves, lifting the kneecaps, surging up to the quadriceps, and even on up all the way through the crown of the head. So this is a lock that we can work with in our yoga practice to really strengthen our muscles, to be able to kind of stand more squarely in ourselves, in our musculature or musculoskeletal system, working with energy. So let's try this. So I'm going to invite you to have a chair, no wheels, no arms, some space, and sit in seated mountain. So shoulders over hips, legs straight out of hip sockets, knees over ankles about hips width distance apart. Make sure your feet are about parallel. And then sit up nice and tall. From here, you're going to lift your toes and just notice what you feel. Maybe the arching of the lifting of the arches of the feet, feeling the four corners of your feet pressing into the floor. Do you feel the energy surging up higher? Maybe, maybe not. Relax your toes and fluff them. We don't want any cramping. We're just going to go in, get a read, and leave. Now we're coming back in. So lift the toes, feel the arch lift of the feet. Maybe four corners are now pressing into the floor as you feel that drawing of energy, lifting the calf muscles, lifting the kneecaps, lifting the quadriceps. Maybe you feel nice, strong energy in the muscles in the legs, and then relax your toes, fluff them out. If you felt any tension or stress or pain in your knees, you want to adjust the stance so you feel that alignment. Or if you have tender knees, this might not be right for you. There's other more passive things that you can do that I talk about in other videos, leg, feet videos, that might be better for you. If that felt okay, let's try it again. So lift the toes, arches lift, four corners ground, and drawing that energy up through calf, knees, quadriceps, even on up through the heart. Maybe you feel the shoulder blades sink down in opposition, crown lifts, and then exhale, relax and fluff it down. So this is one way we can kind of lift ourselves up out of gravity to give us a fighting chance to navigate challenges as we walk. So in a moment, I'm going to show you how to use this cultivation of energy to really light up one of the standing postures. See you in a moment. As with all standing postures, we want to build from the foundation up, just like a house. So we want to cultivate the foundation and then work to recruit that energy. Now we're coming into a posture that we would normally step into later in a class. So I want to make sure if you are coming into this cold, you don't hurt yourself. So let's just take our feet a little wider than hips width distance. We're going to soften our knees and just roll your pelvic bowl. Imagine you're standing on a clock and you're just going around the circumference of the clock. Keep it small if you notice any tension or pinching, and then reverse the circle. Keeping the knees nice and soft. You want to keep that pelvic bowl nice and floaty. And then come back to center. We just lubricated the hip sockets just a little bit, stretched out the low back. Okay, so from here, we're going to step out a little wider with the left foot. Toes are going to tuck in slightly like pigeon toe. And then you're going to bring the right toes to point toward the chair. So having the back of the chair towards you, if this is newer for you. If you have it in your practice to turn the chair the other way, go for it, but that's up to you. You know your body, you know your practice. So from here, we're going to just bend and straighten that front knee, pointing toward the second and third toe, just opening up the hip flexor a little, just bending through the ankle. And then we're going to float the knee over the ankle and lift those toes. You'll notice an arch, the lifting of the arch, the planting of the four corners, and drawing that energy up, intending it to lift the calf, lift the kneecap, lift the quadricep, and then lower the toes down, keep that engagement, and then straighten the leg, almost like you're pushing down to lift up and straighten the leg. Make sure you don't lock the knee or land there. We're really cultivating that muscle energy so we don't land on the joint. And then bend and straighten, release, fluff out the toes. So that's the base for the pose we're heading into. If you know yoga, maybe you know where we're headed. So we're coming into triangle pose. So I always like to come into this pose really consciously because it's really easy to lock the knee, lock the hips. So just be mindful. And then bend the knee over the ankle. You're going to anchor through the back, a pinky toe edge of the back foot. And then you're going to lift the toes, feel the arch lifting, energy drawing up the leg, put the toes to the floor, and then straighten the leg with that muscle energy engaging without locking the knee, and then bend. So this time, we're going to find our support. So we're using the support of the chair here. So forearms on the thighs. Make sure you're not collapsing or crunching into gravity or crunching your shoulders. We want to find space, right? It's just like a kickstand here. If you're on the seat of the chair, the hands there. And then, again, bend the knee, lift the toes, draw up Pada Bandha, push the floor away, straighten that leg. You can lower the toes whenever you're ready. No locking of the knee, and feel that left hip reach away. So now with that straightened leg, rotate the right rib cage towards me, left shoulder on the back, and then lift the left arm. Now let's electrify this pose. So maybe lifting the toes, maybe just feeling Pada Bandha lifting. You're going to lift through the central part of the foot, lift the calf, knee, quadricep, hip, up through the crown, and then rooting down through that right arm or hand, lifting up through the left. Take a big breath here. Finding that space. Now you're fully embodied in triangle. Exhale, bring the hand to the hip. Look to the front foot, bend and straighten. Release. And recruit your glutes, recruit your abs, push the floor away and come on up. Bending and straighten. We're going to lift the toes, pivot on the heel, all 10 toes face the same direction. Soften your knees and gather your feet together. Either heel toe your feet or lift your feet and bring them together, whatever works for you. Pausing in mountain, all standing postures. Come into and go out of mountain, this home base. Take a breath here in through your nose, out through your mouth. Soften anywhere you might be clenching. If you're in your mind as you're listening to instruction, come back into your body more, into your breath. And when you're back aligned, we're going to do the other side. Never want to be uneven, right? So we're going to either turn ourselves to use the chair the other way, or carefully, mindfully move our chairs to the other side. And I'm going to model the other way. So if you know the back of the chair was right for you, take that. That's your practice. Set yourself up, know what supports you need, and take them. I'm just showing for options if it's available to do the chair, the seat. So however your chair needs to be set up, quarter turn so the chair is to your left. Hands to hip or chair if it's back here, if you need it for support. The chair is very versatile, use it. Take the right foot out as wide as is comfortable for your hips, and then bring the right toes to tuck in, little pigeon-toed to support the knee, and then bring the left toes to point toward the chair. Again, bend and straighten. We're just getting into a little stretching first movement. And then from here, bend the knee right over the ankle, lift the toes, feel Pada Bandha working, draw it up through the calf, knee, quadricep. Lower the toes and straighten the leg. Again, you might already start to feel that right hip reaching away in opposition, if your body knows this pose. And then bend and straighten again, releasing anywhere you might be holding. And then come into knee bend, lift the toes, draw up Pada Bandha, lifting calf, knee, quadricep, straighten that leg without locking the knee, spread and lower the toes, hip is reaching away, and then bend and straighten. So we're cultivating that support, that strong muscle energy. Now bend the knee and bring your hand to wherever the support's going to be. It can be the forearm on the back of the chair like I did on the other side, or hand to the seat of the chair. If you have the other triangle, if you have traditional triangle in your pose, just try it this way for the sake of focusing in a tutorial on the leg cultivation. Lift the toes, knee is bent, and then you're going to, again, lift through Pada Bandha, even through the back foot. Straighten that leg without locking the knee, feeling that right hip reach away. Lower the toes if they're lifted. And then rotate the left rib cage toward me. Let's electrify this pose, drawing up Pada Bandha, feeling both arches of the feet lifting, drawing energy up through calves, knees, quadriceps, hip is lifting, and then shooting on up the central channel through the crown of the head. And if it feels okay, the right arm can lift. And again, pressing down, lifting, drawing up through Hasta Bandha, maybe. Lifting, reaching. Take a breath. And exhale, hand to hip. Look to your front knee, your left knee, bend and straighten. Recruit your abs, recruit your glutes, push down, rise, back up. Lift the left toes, pivot on the heel, soften your knees, gather your feet together in whatever fashion feels right and available. Pausing in mountain if it feels good. Inhale the arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Soften if you found you started clenching anywhere habitually. And then blink open your eyes if you close them and release your hands. So I hope you found that helpful in really embodying your poses more. I know that I have my teacher's voices in my head when I'm doing certain poses, like that one teacher that told me to press into a certain part of my foot as I was rotating into rotated triangle. There's those little tips and tricks that we all learn along the way that help us to really step fully into our physical yoga practice, which aligns all of ourselves together. So we're focused, aligned in as much of our lives as we possibly can. And to my mind, that helps you navigate challenges as we step around this life we are living in. So as always, I hope you found that helpful. Please leave comments below. Let me know what you find helpful, if you've been using it, if there's anything else you'd like to see. And I thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.